So hey friends, I'm Arslan and I'm recording this video from University of California in Davis, and I'm a Humphrey Fellow at UC Davis covering climate change and energy fields. So today I'm joined by my friend from Fiji, Ilaisa Naca, who is also a Humphrey Fellow. And yeah, hi Ilaisa.
Hi, Arslan.
Hi. Thank you for joining. So tell me about yourself. Where are you from? What's your field? And what brought you here?
Thank you, Arslan. It's a pleasure, just to be here for this interview. So, my name is Ilaisa Naca, and I'm from the Fiji Islands. So, for me, when it comes to the Humphrey program, the first time that I saw it was when I was working with USAID Climate Ready in the Pacific. It was a climate change adaptation project. And then, for me, I was reaching a year of my life where I was just working on climate adaptation projects year after year. And it was after 10 years that I've been doing the same work. And I was coming to a stage of my life where I was really having this phase. I don't know whether it's a burnout or it was just simply it's natural. It happens in our life. Yeah. So, and then I saw the Humphrey, about the Humphrey Fellowship on the USAID
Portal?
the portal. Yeah. So when I saw that it was there, sorry, just to backtrack it again, it was on their Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Suva Embassy Facebook page. And this embassy, it was based in Fiji, and it looks after 5 countries. Fiji, Tonga, Fiji, Kiribati, Tonga, Tuvalu, and another country. So for me, as soon as I saw it, and then I look at a quick glimpse of the criteria and everything that was said on it, I just realized wow, this is for me. I'm gonna go for this, and it's the opportunity that would really, allow me to do a stock take of where I'm going. Because I remember, I said, I was kind of having that burnout feeling also. Yeah. So the Humphrey program, that criteria, it provides it because it shows that there's 3 categories to it. One is academic, the other one is professional affiliation, and the other one is community engagement. So for me, I've done all of those kind of stuff together, but the Humphrey program, doesn't it's non-degree course. So for me, I would say I don't want to really get committed to academic work. So this is it. You just come and be free about it. So backtrack to where I was, so I was saying I was 10 years ago, I've been working on climate change adaptation project. And then at that stage in my life, I just saw what's next? Because living on islands, one thing that we face is that there's only so much that you can do. Yeah, because what's the highest? Because most of in terms of our economy, we focus a lot on agriculture, on primary industries, and we don't have a lot of manufacturing or processing and stuff. So our focus is just around these areas, and the biggest issue that we have was climate change, and that thematical area was provided on the Humphrey program. So yeah, it was a dream for me. So I went ahead and applied for it.
Good.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what do you think made your application successful? Maybe some tactics, some strategies which will be helpful for future applicants.
Absolutely. So for me, when I applied for the online application, it was just really clear to me what I wanted, because the thematics that I was going for, it was there on, it was provided or under the Humphrey program. So I targeted regionalism in terms of the Pacific Islands. It wasn't just for me that I was applying, because I've been working with regional organizations and international organizations. So roughly I've worked with 3 regional organizations. They are known as crop agencies in the Pacific, which was the Pacific Community, the Pacific Community, the Pacific Disability Forum, and even the University of the South Pacific, where I was a teaching assistant. Yeah, and 3 UN agencies, the UN Women, United Nations Food and Agriculture Organizations, and UNICEF.
Right.
So for me, when I put in my application, or how I structured my application, it was around regionalism, like aligning the priorities of the region to from like our national priorities, like the Fiji government priorities. And like Fiji being one of the countries that take lead in climate change adaptation, in putting in place like policy strategies, like frameworks. So it was really like, very, how do I put this? It was like an added benefit for me because my country like focus on those areas.
Okay.
So for me, it's a matter of just putting down into paper, into black and white. And then, so structuring my application around those areas like national priorities, regionalism, and then international priorities in terms of the SDGs. So I align it around those areas and then tailor-made it around like the work that I've done in the Pacific region, around like climate change adaptation. Yeah. And for me, like when you talk of climate change adaptation, it's building resilience on the water sector, on food security, whether it's development or building climate resilient infrastructure projects. So it's around these areas, and for us, it's a must. It's a priority for Pacific Island governments to really like go into these areas. So I structured my application around those areas, and because like I've kind of like anticipated that it's going to be competitive, the application processes. When I say competitive, you are not just competing with people from your region, like you are competing from people around the world.
The globe.
So so it's, and we have like more than like 100+ countries like out there who are eligible to apply for for this opportunity. So I made sure that like I typed down all loose ends like in the application. I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect, but the best thing is that like you try things, you put it out there, you give it your very best shot, you get advice as much as you can. So and then I went for it. At this stage, I did not reach out to any past alumni, but like I waited for their promotional event session, like the U.S. Embassy. So they do like an information session, like a live Facebook session, where past alumni will come in. But mind you, like the event, when it was organized, it was after I realized that, it's not that after I realized, it was after I got the notification that I've been accepted to the Humphrey program. So it was like, a bit of like mislaps with the timing. So yes, and that's how I frame my whole application processes, like national priorities, regionalism, and the international goals of how we can align everything together.
I like that, Ilaisa. I like that the fact that you tied all the challenges that Fiji and then the Pacific region is facing into your application and made it. But on my side, I try to do that as well, knowing the fact that it will be really competitive. I try to reach out to some of ex-alumni, not from my country, because I couldn't find any of them. But I managed to find someone who'd done Humphrey Fellowship 10 years ago from Turkmenistan. And I reached out to the person. He was like very supportive and stuff. But I also reached out to a recent fellow from Egypt. And hi Dalia, if you are watching us. But she was so helpful in terms of like shaping my application, saying, hey, highlight this part of your background, highlight that part, make it stronger. So I would really recommend, like from what Ilaisa is also sharing, to tie down everything to the challenges that your region is facing, how you're going to address them, and plus reach out to previous alumni, Humphrey alumni, to make sure that your application is really strong. Thank you, Ilaisa. So, which brings me to the next question. So you came here, you were successful. And so were you able to find the answers that you were looking for while being at UC Davis?
Wow. At this moment, like, wow, like it's a coincidence. You're asking me like that question now. And then I was just thinking it like in the past days, like, So, yes, like directly, yes. I find like, this is your purpose of coming here. and I got it. And it's
Right.
not just that I got like what the purpose of like me coming over here,
Right.
but I got more than that. Like the
More than
package
that.
that you get from the Humphrey program, it's a holistic package that that
Right.
you got something, and then you're ready for this is the purpose why I'm doing this, and this is where I'm going. Yeah. So at the moment, it has been like, um, compared to the past, like you come and then you study, and then yeah, after that you go and look for jobs and
Yep.
and stuff. Yeah. But like with this opportunity, yeah, I know, like I resigned from my previous work.
Yep.
Yeah, but like that worry, like that uncertainty that I'm supposed to have, yeah, compared to like the time that I was doing my master's degree in a foreign country also, I was having like that worry a lot. But this time, like I don't get to feel that as much as like I'm, you know, I wouldn't lie, like I still have like that feeling of uncertainty, but I know like there's something bigger out there, because almost all jobs that I applied for, I'm getting shortlisted, like in all those in all these applications that I'm applying for.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's a matter of like really deciding like what to go for. Like for me, my aim is like come here, learn, and then go back to Fiji and then serve. Like not just Fiji, but like Pacific Island countries in terms of climate adaptation.
Right.
But after coming here and with the opportunities that I'm exposed to, it's more than that. I feel like I'm so equipped and I'm so ready to really go out there and not just like serve the public, the general public, like in terms of serving in a public sector, but like it's the opportunities of like do your own startup and
Yeah.
start that up, because that's what like Humphreys exposed us to, like
Exactly.
that public engagement, that private sector engagement with private business. Like we get that first-hand experience that we don't get from other scholarships in terms of academic scholarship, especially. Yeah, but like with this opportunity, I got like what I came here for, and yeah, I don't know, like I'm just ready to go out there and serve and implement.
Amazing. Amazing. Ilaisa, I was talking
Yeah.
to my friend yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was explaining also, like I have my job now. I like,
Yeah.
unlike Ilaisa, I didn't resign, so I probably the job is there, but still, I don't know whether I want to do the same thing or I want to switch to some other bigger things.
Yeah.
And because Humphrey Fellowship is about
Yeah.
all the things related to sustainable development,
That's
related
right.
to like helping the world to find better solutions.
Yeah.
And but somehow, despite all those uncertainties, I'm still okay. I feel good that things will work out well, right?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
yeah, after this program, I mean, it's impossible to not find the right track.
Yeah.
But Ilaisa, so can you tell to me, I'm also interested, but also to those viewers who are not familiar with Fiji and the Pacific region, what are the challenges in terms of like sustainability? What are the challenges that your country is facing at the moment?
Yeah. I would say like our biggest threat at the moment is climate change, like the climate change effects, because the intensity and the magnitude and the frequency of like how like most of like these disasters, natural disasters that are happening now, it has increased like over the years. So with climate change, because I've said before, like for our economies, most of Pacific Island countries, we rely on primary producers or primary agriculture producers or the marine sector in terms of marine resources. So most of like our livelihood that we rely on, that sustains not just like our past generations, like it's our present generations, and then we hope so it will continue to do so for the future generations. But it's continuously like being threatened by like climate change, not just like our livelihood, but it's our lives also, in terms of like the adverse weather impact that is happening. Like sometimes it can be like extremely cold, or sometimes it can be like extremely hot, like El Nino or La Nino. And it has like, it produces like, different natural hazards like tropical cyclone, flooding, or landslide, or other hazards that happens. And then like, it's islands, and like our resilience capacity, like we can only do so much. Yeah, like in terms of like, building a strong, resilient economic base in terms of our agriculture sector or our marine sector. Yeah. So this challenge, when it comes to climate change, it affects all areas of our life. Whether you are living in a village or whether you are living in town, or whether you are poor or whether you are rich, you still get affected because of climate change. Yeah, but mostly the people that are worst affected are the poor people, the people who don't have what do you call it, the cushions where they can fall back on and then bounce back and become resilient, because most of them they have single source of income that comes from their farm, or they come from going out and fishing,
and which is affected by climate change.
Exactly. And all this is affected by climate change. And and then you get to think of countries that already even without climate change they are already facing challenges in terms of water. Like countries like Tuvalu or Kiribati. So these countries they don't have rivers running through them. So most of them they have to harvest drinking water. So when it rains they harvest water. Right. But then when you have long period of drought, it doesn't really help. So people really struggle. And when it comes to sustainability, we're trying to meet the needs of the future generation. But what we're trying to do now is just trying to meet the needs of each day as we go along. Because what's the use of looking into the future if you cannot really
if you have problems now?
So you have to whatever resources that you have now, you have to use that to implement projects or build infrastructure that will meet what is there right now, whether it's water, whether it's the water sector, because water is a basic need, it's a big challenge, or agriculture in terms of food security. Because food security, having all aspects of the components of food security, accessibility, stability, and all these areas, it has become increasingly challenging just because of climate change. And then we face that issue of trying to balance the need, whether we have to do development or build resilient infrastructure to climate change. So you are often faced with those, because whatever development that you do, a tropical cyclone or a flooding, it can just take away those infrastructure that you build within minutes or hours. So in less than a day, that can just be taken out just like that. And it takes a long time to build those resource base.
Recently there was in the news, I think somewhere in the New York area or Boston area, people were building some walls, investing so much money. And then in 3 days or a very short period of time, those walls were destroyed by the waves, by the water. So exactly. It's very sensitive area to work on. So you came here. So it's probably the end of our program now as Humphrey Fellows, and I really enjoyed it. So, but you came here 10 months in California, learning about the best practices. What are you going with to Fiji? What will be your things that you will be prioritizing doing there? I know you started your PhD. I know you have great projects about bike infrastructure in Fiji. Please tell me.
Aslan. So for me, even before I got here, one of the areas that I was targeting was climate finance in terms of accessing multilateral banks and even bilateral in terms of accessing climate finance. For example, the Green Climate Fund, GCF, Adaptation Fund, because these are places, or these are areas where you can really access funding to build resilience for your countries and all. So that was my initial target. But then as I come here to California, UC Davis, and then I get started building this network engagement with people, as I've said before, the private sector, the public sector. So building this network, I started to build my knowledge and my expertise on these areas of not just climate adaptation, but I started venturing into mitigation areas like energy also. So going into these areas, like I feel like, like going back home in the Pacific, it's not just a matter of isolation. You cannot just look at like how you address climate change in isolation. Like if you're looking into adaptation, continue to do on that. It has to be approached holistically, and that's what I gained from this project. So the network that I've built here, and even the network out there, whether it's a multilateral bank, a bilateral bank, or an international organizations like the UN or regional organizations from the Pacific, we have to like really network, and that's what I intend to do. Like reach out and then see like who's doing like this work in this area, like, and they are really experts on it. So tap into them and see like how you can complement each other, or in a way like enhance like the work that they are doing. How you can really tap onto that. Because for me, I would say like the world is my oyster now. The world is our oyster. Like how like this program is designed to reach out, to address like provide global solutions to global issues.
Totally agree with you.
And climate change, it's like an issue that affects everybody globally. So for me, going back home, it's just like building that network and then trying to like doing rather than just saying. So any opportunity, any platform that I'll be exposed to, I'll be given the opportunity to do so. Like this is what I'll be doing. Like so that like we can really put whatever resources that we already have in existence into action, or into like building climate resilient projects, or for the Pacific Island countries and for any countries in the world who are very vulnerable to climate change.
Which kind of confirms the fact that you become a global expert now with meeting
I
all
hope
the
so.
people. And as Humphrey Fellows, we are all coming, 12 people from 12 different countries. And I try to call it as a mini United Nations, where we are trying to
That's
solve.
right.
Thank you, Ilaisa. I hope I'm sure that you will be able to materialize all your plans and be a very useful member for your society, for your nation. But finally, probably closing this discussion, like what would be your advice for upcoming fellows in terms of making their year better as much as possible?
Right. Go for it. I would say like go for it. Like the experience that Humphrey provides you, it's from the program, but it's totally up to you to make this experience like worthwhile, and like the best possible manner that will meet like what you come here for. Like the question of like, did you find what you look for like when you were coming over here? Absolutely. Like it's more than that. So don't be afraid. Like when you come in, like some of us might be having like preconceived ideas before we come into the Humphrey program. Like you as like as somebody who's watching, and then you thinking like, how about this the money issue, or the social factors, cultural factors. What I would say, like it's the United States of America. Like it's the benchmark when it comes to like most of the thematical areas that Humphrey provides. So whatever areas that you are thinking, Humphrey has it. Like irrespective of which university you go to, like I strongly encourage you to just go for it and live like that experience. When you come in, like don't hold back. Like network, like with these different international people, like from different countries that is there in the Humphrey program, and even like here in the US. Like this is for it. Like grab the opportunity and make the most of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ilaisa. I think I would add to that, like Humphrey Fellowship, they provide you with a really great baseline, whereby even if you don't do anything, just follow the program, you are already in a great shape. But I think you can do more than that by reaching out, by networking with people, by building contacts with. And now I never knew a person from Fiji before, but now I have a great friend from there because we were doing some extra activities, going out, reaching out to people together. So I hope you will from these advices you will make your Humphrey year a great experience.
Yeah.
Ilaisa, thank you very much.
That's right,
Thank you
Arsenal.
for,
Thank you.
for
Yeah.
today's discussion. I
Yeah.
hope, we will continue. I'll hope to make one more video
Thank you.
after you reach
Yeah.
back to Fiji and start working on
Absolutely,
great
yeah.
projects.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
please hit like and
Yeah.
then leave comments below whether you find this
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
But see you in the next podcast.